It features the Bryant and Stratton College Bobcats and the Southwest Virginia Community College Flying Eagles. Bryant and Stratton reached this semifinal by topping Guilford Tech yesterday 81-54. And Southwest Virginia bested Wake Tech 77-72. The winner of this game will face the Cape Fear Sea Devils tomorrow at 2 p.m. Please be here. Brunswick Community College and the National Junior College Athletic Association promote good sportsmanship by student athletes, coaches, and spectators. We request your cooperation by supporting the participants and officials in a positive manner. Negative comments, profanity, racist, sexist, or other abusive comments or actions directed at officials, student athletes, coaches, or team representatives will not be tolerated and are grounds for removal from the facility. Brunswick Community College, thank you for your support and cooperation. Now let's meet the starting lineups. First for the Flying Eagles of Southwest Virginia Community College. Starting at guard, number 1, Lorraine Love.
All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Our second semifinal about to get underway. It's the top seed, Bryant and Stratton Bobcats, taking on the number 4 seed, Southwest Virginia Flying Eagles. Flying Eagles 21-9, Bobcats are 26-3, and as we take a look at the updated bracket, Cape Fear winning earlier today to reach the championship game. Let's find out who they're going to play and meet the starting lineups. First for Thad Lambert and Southwest Virginia. Number 1, Lorraine Grove. Number 4, Maddie Day. Number 5, Amber Kimberlin. Number 10, Paige Niehammer. Number 22 is Braylon Steele. Now for Bryant and Stratton, receiving votes in the latest NJCAA poll at 26-3, and head coach Cornell Parker starting number 2, Jalen Brown. Number 4, Rakyla Jones. Number 5, Yvette Sandifer. Number 22, Gabrielle Williams. Number 31, Latanya Berry. Southwest Virginia winning against Wake 77-72 yesterday. Paige Niehammer with a program record 41 points in that victory. Amber Kimberlin was in double figures with 14 as well. And then everything was fine. Nothing else happened to Southwest Virginia after that game was over. We'll talk more about that later. Bryant and Stratton winning their quarterfinal game against Guilford Tech yesterday, 81-54 victory for Bryant and Stratton against Guilford Tech. Bryant and Stratton Bobcats shot 64% in that game. They had 31 assists on 35 field goal makes. Barry, I mentioned she almost had a triple-double. She was close, 31 points, 12 rebounds, 8 block shots. Rakyla Jones, 17 points and 13 assists. A double-double for her. Jalen Brown also had 12 for the Bobcats. So here we go, third meeting of the year as the tip is controlled by the top seed Bryant and Stratton. Back on December 2nd at Southwest Virginia, Bobcats won 57-50. The shooting was 37% for Bryant and Stratton. Southwest Virginia shot 34. Eagles were plus 20 on the glass in that game. Bobcats had 18 steals and forced 31 turnovers in that game, though. In the second meeting on February 24th, Bobcats won at home 68-44. Bryant and Stratton outshot Southwest Virginia 47% to 28% in that game. 15 steals for the Bobcats in that one as well. 23 turnovers for Southwest Virginia. So we start with the turnover. That's a bad sign for the Flying Eagles, as turnovers were really the main difference in the first two meetings between these two programs. Southwest Virginia was involved in a car accident yesterday, and that's why we are delayed at the start here today. Wanted to give them a little time to regroup. We'll talk more about it at the next dead ball. But everybody is okay. If you haven't gotten the news and you're just hearing it from me, the important thing to take away is everybody's okay. And we'll talk more details when there's time to do that. Right now the shot clock is at 10. They look down low for Niehammer. Niehammer, two defenders gambled, missed it too strong, and then that's going off Bryant and Stratton. So Barry couldn't quite gather the rebound. It's going to be the Barry versus Nehammer show here today, as those two players combined scored 73 points in the quarterfinals yesterday. A couple of strong offensive post players for both of these programs. Driving in, a couple of fakes by Grove, and then the pass. Steele was not expecting it. And they say it's off Bryant and Stratton. So they say Williams touched it last. And now 9 to shoot. Here's Nehammer, top of the key with 7 on the shot clock. Nehammer gets it over to Kimberlin with 1. And it's going to be a shot clock violation before they call the tie-up. So nice defense at the start for Bryant and Stratton here. Bobcats trying to get on the board here on their second possession as Sandifer gets it back. Goes left of the lane, into the lane, lays it up too strong. Barry, the putback, no, but she's fouled. And it's going to be on Steele, so LaTanya Barry had 32 points yesterday. And good on the first free throw of the game here today for the Bobcats. Got them both. So Bobcats on the board. It's 2-zip here in the opening 2 minutes. Trap is on for Bryant and Stratton here. And a steal by Jones. Jones attacks. Jones can't score, and it's out of bounds. Last touch by Southwest Virginia. Brown to inbound. Sandifer attacks. Pull up right of the lane is no good, and it's going off Barry out of bounds. Southwest Virginia is 11th in D2 and three-point field goal percentage at 33%, 14th in overall shooting at 44%. We got a tie up here, and the possession arrow will stay with the Eagles. Bryant and Stratton is the second best shooting team in the country at 48%. They've gone over 50% now 13 times this year. Sixth best three-point shooting team. But both of these defenses are very good, and we're seeing that on display at the start. Here's Kimberlin between the circles, looking down low for Nehammer. Nehammer doubled up, gets it to the cutter. What a pass. Grove had it blocked out of bounds by Brown. Nice defensive play for Bryant and Stratton. So 11 on the shot clock for the Eagles. Kimberlin to inbound it. Nehammer top of the key. She's got the range. We saw her hit a couple of threes. Shot clock is down to 4. Grove's got to get going with 2. With 1, they got to just beat it, and Kimberlin hits. Amber Kimberlin, who had 14 yesterday, right at the buzzer for Southwest Virginia. Down low, they get it to Barry. Barry off the bank, no. Barry follows her miss, can't score again. Kimberlin into the forecourt now for the Eagles. Kimberlin, the runner. Bank, no. Rebound, Sandifer. Sandifer with a 3-on-2 on the other end. Sean, wake up. There we go. Now here's Jones. Jones cut off, swings it out to Sandifer, who lost the dribble but was fouled. Oh, Thad Lambert. Can't believe it. That's a huge bailout there. And it'll be the second team foul on the Eagles. First on Kimberlin. Here's Barry with a deep look. Yes! LaTanya Barry up to 4 points. All 4 for Bryant and Stratton as they retake the lead. Day out deep. Here is Niehammer going to work on the wing. Back to Day. Open look for three. No good, and that's off Bryant and Stratton as Sandifer unable to come up with the rebound. Caitlin Glover going to come in, early sub for Coach Lambert. As Grove goes out of the game, I believe that, yeah, Grove is out. Niehammer, top of the key. Lost the handle, gets it back, 4 to shoot. Again, Eagles are up against the shot clock, but they get bailed out with a whistle. So first foul now on the Bobcats here, just about 4 minutes in to this opening quarter. Three by Kimberlin again, she hits. Amber Kimberlin with all 6. Sandifer cuts into the lane. The runner, no good. And Steele with a nice box out. Boy, they got their work cut out for them down low, does Southwest Virginia against Barry. She's getting a hand on everything, whether she's in position or not. Steele looking down low, Niehammer. Niehammer over Williams is fouled, and that'll send Paige Niehammer to the free throw line. A program record 41 piece yesterday for Paige Niehammer. And a chance to tie us if she can get a couple free throws and get on the board here. 70% free throw shooter on the season. Sandifer going to go out of the game for Bryant and Stratton. Banks comes in. Wisdom Banks. Niehammer misses both free throws. We mentioned this yesterday. Southwest Virginia struggled from the free throw line against Wake. They came in 11th in the country in free throw percentage at just over 70%. Banks gets it down to Barry. Extra pass out, and the catch and shoot three no good by Williams. Offensive rebound, and Banks banks it off the glass. Wisdom Banks first two. All tied at 6 apiece. First tie of the game. Past the midway point here in this opening quarter. Glover, Kimberlin's been the hot hand with all 6. Niehammer, pull up at the free throw line is no good. Ball deflected, and it comes to Jones. Jones will back it out as the Eagles get back defensively. Banks on the far side, Williams over to Brown. They look in for Barry. Sia defenders around her, leaves Williams open for three, misses again, rebound by Niehammer. Niehammer, as Kimberlin thought about the three. Now leaves it for Glover. Glover gets a screen, forces the pass. It trickles back to Glover. 7 to shoot. Ball poked away by Brown. Nice defense there by the Bobcats. They look to run and gun. It's Banks again off the glass. Puts Bryant and Stratton back up by 2. Kimberlin top of the key, left alone, a three again, not this time. Barry collects the rebound. Banks looking to push. So Wisdom Banks with some energy off the bench with 4 points. Nearing 3 minutes to go here in this opening quarter. Wisdom Banks on the near side. Williams comes to set the screen. Banks was open. Extra pass by Williams to Banks. She lays it up and in. Wisdom Banks with 6. Bryant and Stratton leads by 4. 2:42 to go here in this opening quarter. This is Steele. Handoff goes to Glover. Kimberlin down to Steele, throws it up short. And the rebound controlled by, I believe that's Sandifer with the rebound here. Is Brown for three? No. Nice box out there by Niehammer that was on the rebound. Kimberlin into the forecourt. 2:12 remaining here in this opening quarter. Niehammer to Steele. Steele with the fake, drives in, throws it off the glass and in. First bucket for Braylon Steele. 2-point game. Inside 2 minutes to go here in our second semifinal. Cape Fear wins wire-to-wire against Lewisburg. They're in the championship game. Who will join them? Tight start to this one. A good game so far between the 1-seed Bryant and Stratton, the 4-seed Southwest Virginia. 7 on the shot clock. Pass was too strong. And I believe we're going to have a timeout. Minute 35 to go here in this opening quarter, a 2-point game. We'll be back. Minute 35 left to go here in this opening quarter. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you from the home studio in Cleveland, Ohio. Grove back in. Grove has to dive to save it and then throws it away. Was it touched? No. Wisdom Banks still out there. Janijah Artist has come into the game. So Bryant and Stratton with the basketball. They lead by 2. Bodenheimer is also in. They get it down low to Barry. Barry on the block, called for steps. So ball goes back to Southwest Virginia. We've had 2 lead changes, 1 tie in this game. We're tied at 6. Grove on the near side, hounded by Artist. Steele drives in, throws it away, but Artist was out of bounds. So it'll stay with the Flying Eagles. I mentioned Flying Eagles in a car accident yesterday after the game. They were on their way to get some food, and evidently what happened is somebody had a medical emergency. And imagine having that while you're driving. So just wrong place, wrong time for Southwest Virginia. I talked to Thad Lambert today. He took the brunt of everything. He's okay, though. Everybody is okay. That's the main thing. But what a night for Southwest Virginia after that emotional victory. And then Thad Lambert also wanted to make sure that I mentioned that everybody's fine and that they're thinking and they're praying for that man who did have that medical emergency as well. But he was very grateful talking to him today. You can hear the relief. You can hear the soreness in him. Although he's moving, when that foul came that he didn't like, Thad was moving pretty good over on that sideline. But you could tell just by talking to him today, he's a little sore, but very, very relieved, as we all are. So anyways, that's why the game was delayed. They wanted to give a little extra time for the Eagles, who they all got looked at, I think, is my understanding, just to be safe. But the folks at Thad Lambert at the front of the bus got the worst of it. And he said he was glad that was the case, of course. A foul called with the shot clock winding down. It's going to be the 4th on Bryant and Stratton, so 6.2 here in the quarter for Southwest Virginia. Inbound goes to Niehammer. Niehammer with 2, with 1, puts it up, puts it in. First field goal for Niehammer comes at the buzzer, and we are tied at 10. After 1 quarter of play, we'll be back with the second quarter here in just a little bit. Don't go too far. Welcome back, everybody. All tied at 10 after the first quarter. Chris Sheeman back here with you. This Region 10 semifinal game. Banks over to Artist. There's Bodenheimer. Leaving it again for Banks. Banks with 6 points in that first quarter. Artist left alone. The deep look is off the glass and in. Bryant and Stratton back on top. Artist was scoreless yesterday. That's her first bucket here today. Bryant and Stratton 12-10 in a defensive battle thus far, but a good first quarter. Nice backdoor cut, and Grove lays it up and in. Beautiful play there. Grove, who had 2 points yesterday, already on the board here early second quarter. Tied for the third time here today. Sandifer back in, can't get the jumper. Artist outworks him, and the putback. Janijah Artist up to 4 points as Bryant and Stratton goes back up on top. And in the lane, it's going to be a traveling call on Steele. Championship game tomorrow at 2 p.m. Winner of that game gets the automatic bid into the national tournament. I think it's going to be played in Joplin, Missouri this year. And if you are one of those people and your team makes it, as Sandifer goes to the hoop to score her first bucket. Lead is 4 now for Bryant and Stratton. I used to call a national tournament in Joplin, Missouri for 6 straight years. Joplin was my second home for quite a bit. So if you end up in Joplin, send me a text, because I know all the places to go in Joplin. I know the hotels to go to. I know the hotels not to go to. And believe me, there's some not to go to, but it's hit or miss. There's no, this is a fine hotel in Joplin. They're either horrendous or they're pristine. Take the drive on Route 66, too, if you make the trip over there. Here's Grove attacking. Grove throws it up and in. So Grove's second bucket cuts the deficit down to 2. 2 minutes and change here into this second quarter. Banks dribbles to the right side. Over to Sandifer. Sandifer draws contact. So each team with a team foul here early in this second quarter. Grove going to go back to the bench. Good minutes to start the quarter with 4 points as Day comes back in. Looks like Kimberlin also back in. Niehammer, also Grace Hancock, and Steele. That's the 5 right now for Southwest Virginia. Sandifer walks away after coming up short on the free throw. So 1 out of 2 for Yvette Sandifer, who's got 3 points. Bryant and Stratton leading by 3. Thad Lambert getting an explanation, has us held up here, and now we're ready to get back to basketball. Set the 5 for Bryant and Stratton, as I believe they've made some changes. Barry back into the game. Here's a steal by Artist. Artist hangs, can't score. Offensive rebound. Bodenheimer still in. Sandifer in. And they force that pass. It's a steal by Niehammer. Bryant and Stratton able to take it back as it's thrown off of a Eagles player. And I believe that was Jones who made that defensive play for Bryant and Stratton. Cornell Parker given some instruction to Liv Bodenheimer as she goes out of the game. Barry down low, gets tied up. Jump ball possession arrow favors Southwest Virginia. They're doing a nice job on Barry. She's got 4 points, but really collapsing around her. On the flip side, Bobcats doing a nice job on Niehammer, just 2 points for her. Kimberlin with 6 in the game. Has helped her team hang around. 3-point game, 6.5 to play until halftime. Steele needs some help, gets it to Kimberlin, steps into a 3. Bounces twice, no good, and it's off Bryant and Stratton. So that shot clock should have reset. It's at 7 right now, but that's not right. There we go. It's at 20 now. Inbound to Niehammer up top. She has that range, and she hits it from 3. Niehammer came in just 22% from 3, but she hit 2 from that same spot yesterday in the quarterfinals. So we are tied for the 4th time here today at 17. Sandifer attacks. Sandifer comes up short, and a tie-up. Barry gets tied up with Niehammer, and it'll be Bobcats basketball. 5:57 left to go here until halftime. Sandifer to inbound it for the Bobcats. So Bryant and Stratton. Artist. Sandifer at the half circle. Gets it out to Williams. Back to Sandifer. Lost the handle on it. It trickles to Barry. Swings it out Artist. Williams the extra pass to Jones down low. The cutter is Artist, and she will score. Janijah Artist with 6 points. Bryant and Stratton back up by 2. Kimberlin attacks, but that pass goes nowhere. It's a steal by Williams. Again, the Eagles get back. Jones attacks, and Jones is fouled. No correction. It's Bryant and Stratton called for the offensive foul. My apologies. Second team foul on the Bobcats. 1 seed Bryant and Stratton at 26-3. 4 seed Southwest Virginia, 21-9. It's, believe it or not, their first 20-win season. I'm surprised. I was surprised by that number, and I'm still surprised by it. Nice cut by Niehammer, but she traveled. So nearing the midway point of this second quarter, a turnover there. These two strong defensive teams. Bryant and Stratton allowing 51.1 points per ball game, 11th best in D2. Southwest Virginia so good at guarding the three especially. Their three-point defense is just under 33%. That's 15th in D2. And we have a timeout and a tight one. This semifinal is a 19-17 lead for Bryant and Stratton as we go to this timeout. That's me, Chris Shima. Glad to be with you. Mentioned to Coach Lambert when I talked to him today. I'm looking to add one more client for next year. I need an extra basketball team. So if y'all are enjoying the commentary this weekend, make your feelings known. Chris Shima Media needs some more work, y'all. Artis is too strong. So a nice defensive effort for both teams here in this one. Eagles get the stop, trailing by 2. 4 ties, 2 lead changes in this one. Neither team separated by much. It's been a fantastic start. Niehammer in the lane. Gets it out to Steele. Now she's fouled. It looks like it's going on Artist. It'll be the third on Bryant and Stratton. Also want to mention that QR code we've been putting up. The pictures from yesterday for Karen's photography are now up. So next time you see that QR code, you can scan and start ordering if you want to buy some digital downloads or buy some prints, however you want to do it. Maybe for yourself, maybe for your family, maybe souvenirs, gifts for the players. Again, that QR code will be up at the next media timeout, and you can start browsing all of yesterday's action. Steele down low, misses the bunny. Ball deflected around. Not much offense here in this one. Both defenses, some of the top in the country, and they're showing you why. Jones spinning and called for steps. A few too many turnovers as well here today. Maddie Day back into the game in the backcourt with Kimberlin. Steele on the near side of your screen. Hancock is back in over on that far side. And we got a tie up here as Steele was hounded by Brown. Also Niehammer, that's the 5 for Southwest Virginia. It's Brown and Williams, Artist, Jones Sandifer right now. No Barry out there, 4 points in the first quarter, but she's on the bench. 6 to shoot. Got a hoist, they do, and guess who? It's Kimberlin again. Amber Kimberlin with her third triple. She's got all 9 from downtown. Sandifer cuts in, swings it out. Artist. Yes! Artist with 8 here tonight. And we got a timeout. 3:11 left to go. As I mentioned, here comes that QR code again. (21-20) here in the semifinals of this Region 10 Division II women's basketball tournament. Chris Shima, glad to be with you as we approach 3 minutes to go in the game, or in the first half, excuse me, in the game. A bad pass there by Day and a steal by Bryant and Stratton. The layup is good. I believe it was Jones. If it was, it's her first bucket. She had 19 yesterday. Bryant and Stratton by 3 now. Sandifer takes it away again. Here comes Jones again, this time to Brown. No good, but she's fouled. So Bryant and Stratton picking up the defensive pressure late in this first half. Hancock will go to the bench as Grove comes back in. So free throws for Jalen Brown, 12 points yesterday on the board for the first time here today, 13.6 points per ball game. It's 1 out of 2, 74% free throw shooter. Second team foul on the Flying Eagles, who now trail by 4. Cross court it goes to Day. Open look for 3. Way off. Comes right to Steele, though. Steele loses it. Steele dives for it and then fumbles it out of bounds. Not much happening on this end of the floor for Southwest Virginia right now. Bobcats defensive pressure. This is a team, Bryant and Stratton, that held opponents to 40 or less 5 times this year. Top of the key, 3 ball is no good. Kimberlin gets it out to Grove for 3. A rebound controlled by Artist. She's been a ball of energy here in this game with 8 points off the bench. Jones will back it out now. Swings it out to Sandifer. Sandifer attacks. No. She airballed it and caught it. I don't think you could do that. That's the second time we've seen that today. It happened in the semifinal earlier. But it does stay with Bryant and Stratton. Here's Jones on the right wing. 12 to shoot. And that jumper is good for Sandifer. Sandifer with 5. The lead grows to 6 for Bryant and Stratton. Trouble times here if you're Southwest Virginia. You got to get your offense going again. Backing down, Niehammer comes up short, follows it, and scores. So Niehammer with 7. Kimberlin leads them with 9. 46 seconds to go in the half. Artist top of the key. Williams extra pass. They're doing all of this with Barry, who's been on the bench the bulk of this second quarter. Turnover there. Flying Eagles get the steal. Kimberlin into the forecourt. Kimberlin being hounded by Jones. And a blocking foul called on Jones. It'll be their 4th. So 5-second difference between the game and shot clock as we wind down a pretty entertaining first half. Two good defenses on display here. Some changes now. Bodenheimer comes back in. Wisdom Banks comes in as well. Wisdom Banks with 6 quick points in the first quarter off the bench. Niehammer going to work. Niehammer gets it out to Kimberlin with 8 to shoot. With 5 to shoot. With 2 to shoot. Kimberlin's got to get it off, and she will not. How about the defense for the Bobcats there? Did they call a foul there? They called a foul on that shot. Oh, Bobcat fans, how do you feel about that one? Wow, what a call. Whew. Cornell Parker can't believe it. So the Bobcats bail him out. Kimberlin gets 1 out of 2. She's in double figures. Now 5 seconds to work with here. The throw ahead, the buzzer beater is no good, and a good first half comes to a close with the top seed Bryant and Stratton leading number 4, Southwest Virginia, 26-23. We'll take the 15-minute halftime break. Don't go too far. More semifinal action here in this D2 Region 10 women's basketball tournament continues after this. Welcome back to the Region 10 D2 Women's Basketball Tournament semifinal action as we start the second half. It's the 1 seed Bryant and Stratton leading 4-seeded Southwest Virginia in a tight one, 26-23. First half saw 4 ties and 2 lead changes. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you from the home studio in Cleveland, Ohio, as we're underway here in this second period. Down low, LaTanya Berry left alone, and that's not somebody you want to leave wide open. She had a quiet 4 in the first half, up to 6 now. Biggest lead for either team was 6 points by Bryant and Stratton in that first half, as the turnover there for the Flying Eagles. First half scoring, Amber Kimberlin in double figures for Southwest Virginia with 10, 7 for Paige Niehammer, 4 for Larae Grove, 2 for Steele, 1 for Glover. For Bryant and Stratton now, Janijah Artist with 8 points, 6 for Wisdom Banks, 6 now for Berry, 5 for Sandifer, as the three-pointer is off and the putback is good for Berry. So Berry up to 8. Wisdom Banks was 6. Did I mention Sandifer's 5? I don't know if I did, but I just did. So Jones with 2 and Brown with 1. That's the scoring. Biggest lead for either team now, 30-23. And that ball is off the Bobcats and out of bounds. So Southwest Virginia losing both regular season meetings due to primarily turnover margins. Playing a cleaner defensive game here today, but they are empty on their first 2 possessions on a turnover and then shot clock violation now. And we're going to get a timeout for Thad Lambert, not liking the start to this second half for his team. He calls for time. We step aside as well. All right, welcome back, everybody. I'm going to try something here. I think I got the studio feed up and running for us here. Let's see. Everybody say hi to Meepy if you haven't followed me on Instagram yet. This is Meepy. If you do follow me on Instagram, you know most of my content revolves it. Meepy is with me here on my lap as I call this basketball game. So there's the studio feed there. I couldn't be more crooked if I tried, but anyways, back to live action. That's the studio cam from Cleveland, Ohio. Chris Shima, glad to be with you. And Meepy is here. My color commentator has hopped on the broadcast here in this second half. Good start for the Bobcats here in this second period. And an offensive foul down low is going to be called on Berry. Meepy, what do you think about that offensive foul call? Oh, all she does is talk until I get her on these broadcasts. Then you can't hear. She will not make a peep now. Nice steal there by Sandifer, and she lays it up and in. Terrific defense to offense. It's all Bobcats at the start of this third quarter. Sandifer has 7, another forced turnover there as the Eagles throw it out of bounds, and Thad Lambert's making some changes. Glover back into the game. Grove, Steele, Kimberlin, and Niehammer. That's the 5 right now. Here's Jones on the near side of your screen. Sandifer on the far side. What a pass. Oh, the layup no good. Berry misses. And then Williams gets the tie up, but the possession arrow favors the Flying Eagles. That is Meepy contributing to the broadcast in her own way. Trouble against this press. Now it's Brown with the steal for the Bobcats. Sandifer gets it out to Barry. Now back to Sandifer. Jones, Sandifer back to Jones. The free throw line jumper, no. Barry the putback, yes. Bobcats go up double figures. Barry in double figures with 10. Steal down low, blocked but fouled. Judging by the reaction, looks like Sandifer the guilty party there. And we might have a technical foul. Cornell Parker is all the way at half court, and I don't think he's yelling at the officials. He's yelling at his team. Although he might not have liked that call either. You can't have that kind of reaction right now in this moment. If you're Bryant and Stratton, you're pulling away in this game. You go up double figures, and now you're going to give up 4 free throws. So steal at the line for the technicals. One out of 2. So by the Rasheed Wallace law of physics, the ball only kind of lied there. Grove now at 74% going to go to the line. And she misses. Boy, the free throws in this tournament for Southwest Virginia just not falling. One of the best free throw shooting teams in the country has really struggled from the line here in this tournament. Grove gets 1 out of 2. And now an opportunity with the 2 or 3 to make this a 4 or 5 point possession here for Southwest Virginia. Grove on the far side, being hounded against the zone and called for steps. Jones came away with it, but they call the travel first, so no steal. 3 minutes into this second half. Sandifer into the forecourt for the Bobcats. Jones over to Williams. Sandifer at the half circle, given space, buries the jumper. Sandifer now with 9. Bobcats back up double figures. The takeaway by Jones, and a quick whistle before the bucket. That'll be the first on Southwest Virginia here in this third quarter. There's Jones on the left wing. Top of the key, it's Sandifer. Jones doubled up, throws it high and out of bounds. Another foul is going to be called here as Bryant and Stratton racking them up to 4 fouls already here in the first 4 minutes. The team's not used to playing over here too often. It's called really tight at the beach. And you saw some of that frustration for Bryant and Stratton earlier. Hancock back in, gets it down low to Niehammer. Niehammer over Barry, no good. Williams got the rebound. Now here comes Sandifer. The runner in the lane is good. For Sandifer, she's in double figures now with 11, joining Barry with 10. As the other player in double figures for Bryant and Stratton. Lead is 13. Open look for Day for 3. And the rebound controlled by Jones. Jones into the forecourt. Yes, and the foul. All Bobcats here in this third quarter, and an and one opportunity for Jones. Liv Bodenheimer coming into the game. Jones, 66% free throw shooter, comes up short. It's a 15-point game, though. As we approach the midway point here in this third quarter, top seed starting to pull away. Southwest Virginia got to respond here. They get it to Niehammer up top. Hancock back to Niehammer. Cross court it goes to Kimberlin. Kimberlin out to Niehammer. The step back three with the shot clock winding down, and the rebound by Bodenheimer. Jones back to Bodenheimer from downtown. Missed it short. Rebound by Steele. Hancock into the front court. Swings it out. Day thought about it. Instead to Kimberlin for 3. And a foul down low is going to be called. If it's on Jones, it's Bryant and Stratton's 5th. We got a timeout, 4:27 left to go here in this third quarter. Bryant and Stratton leading by 15 points. We'll step aside. All right, welcome back to the home studio, everybody. I thought without Meepy on my lap, I'd give you a cleaner look at the setup here. So here's how we're broadcasting everything for you here at the home studio in Cleveland, Ohio. Out of the timeout, we go back to live action. 5th foul called on Bryant and Stratton. So Steele at the line again. 3 points on the day, make it 4 as she gets that first free throw to go down. Make it 5 now for Steele, but Bryant and Stratton with the fast start here in this third quarter. Back on offense, it's Jones going cross court to Sandifer. Bodenheimer thought about the 3. Correction, that's Wisdom Banks. Hard to see the jersey numbers. Bobcat fans, I apologize as Bryant and Stratton turns it over. So Wisdom Banks in the game. Artist will come in for Coach Parker. Coach of the Year, Cornell Parker. What a job he's done with Bryant and Stratton. Lost twice to Cape Fear by 1 and then by 6. And then the other loss to Catonsville, who's also receiving votes in the latest D2 poll. Another steal, and the throw ahead by Jones. Layup is good by Banks. Wisdom Banks with 8 points. We had a 3-point game At halftime, it's a 16-4 run, and it's about to grow as Wisdom Banks scores again. So Wisdom Banks in double figures now. Another whistle as more free throws to come here for Southwest Virginia. So Maddie Day scoreless so far here today. Makes it 44-28. Banks over, now down low, Artis to Barry, and Barry puts it off the glass. LaTanya Barry up to a dozen, 8 here in this third quarter. Niehammer's got to start getting going. She had 41 yesterday. She's got 7 here today. Another whistle. More free throws for the Eagles. So Barry's going to go to the bench as Williams comes back in for Bryant and Stratton. This Flying Eagles team just can't get into rhythm at the free throw line. Kimberlin with 10 points here today. Make it 11, 1 out of 2. Williams in the corner from Banks. Now Artis attacks. Artis comes up short. Rebound controlled by Hancock. Pushes it into the forecourts. Passes too high for Kimberlin. And another turnover for Southwest Virginia. Luray Grove back in the game for the Eagles as Hancock sits down. And it looks like Sandifer back in the game for, I want to say Banks. We'll check on that. 2:21 to play here in this third quarter. Oh, Banks is still out there. So Banks and Sandifer, Artist, Bodenheimer, and Williams. That's the 5 right now. Another foul is called as a steal there by Kimberlin. So more free throws. This third quarter might go down as one of the longest in history. I don't know if it just feels that way to me or not, but here is Kimberlin now up to a dozen. 14 points against Wake Tech. She's got 13 now here today. And it's 46-31. Bryant and Stratton with 2 minutes to go here in the third quarter. Bodenheimer on the near side. Artist left alone in the corner. Instead goes to Sandifer. Williams steps inside the arc. Buries the jumper. So Williams was scoreless yesterday. That's her first bucket. Now Grove tries to answer back. Can't do it. And Williams collects the rebound. Bryant and Stratton looking to push. Sandifer out to Banks. Sandifer back out. Banks the jumper. Yes. Banks has a dozen. Bryant and Stratton's opened up their biggest lead now. It's 19 points. The turnaround shot is no good. Another whistle. That will send Niehammer to the free throw line. A 24-point third quarter for Bryant and Stratton. Niehammer 1 out of 2, so she's got 8 here today. Williams in the corner to Bodenheimer. Handoff to Williams. Inside a minute to go here in the third quarter. Artist jumper, no. Rebound by Steele. In the corner, it's Grove. Drives in, bounce passes off the mark. Williams with the steal. Artist turns on the Jets. Slip, fell down, lost it out of bounds. She's okay. So 6-second difference between the game and shot clock as we wind down the third quarter. The third quarter, Bryant and Stratton has controlled 24-9 in this third quarter. Niehammer being hounded, dribbles around trouble, attacks, throws it up, got it in the foul. What a special player. Paige Niehammer now in double figures with 10. Just a freshman. Playing big here in the tournament. I mentioned a program record, 41 points yesterday. Quieter today, but you would almost have to be. She completes the three-point play. She's got 11. Last shot time here for the Bobcats. 14 seconds to work with, and Banks looks over at the Coach of the Year for instructions. Williams top of the key. Sandifer left side, 4 seconds to go. Bodenheimer going to have to beat the buzzer. She does, and does not hit. 50-35, Bryant and Stratton with a good third quarter as they pull away, and they're 10 minutes away from the championship game. We'll be back with the fourth and final quarter here in just a moment. All right, we're underway here in this final quarter. Chris Shima, glad to be back with you. Bryant and Stratton leading by 15 points. Another strong defensive effort by this Bobcats team. Unselfish play offensively. Disciplined defensively. Sandifer scores. She's got 13 here today. Balanced effort today for Bryant and Stratton. Sandifer now leads them with 13. Banks and Berry with 12 points each. 8 for Artist. Jones has 4. Brown with 1. 2 for Williams. Well, if you're going to make a run, now's the time. Unfortunately, for Southwest Virginia, they start with a turnover. Bryant and Stratton, not to get too far ahead, but lost twice to Cape Fear by 1 and by 6. 2 games decided by 7 total points. But as we saw in our first semifinal, it's hard to beat a team 3 times. Lewisburg had beaten Cape Fear twice during the regular season. Cape Fear led wire to wire in that semifinal earlier today. Kimberlin into the forecourt, 8:40 to go. Here's Niehammer attacking, swings it out, 3 by Hancock, yes. Grace Hancock, scoreless yesterday, that's her first bucket here today as well. Banks left side, that's Jones, I believe. Up top, it's Williams. Sandifer. Brown. Starting 5 out there. Barry, the other player out there. Here's Sandifer, the jumper in and out. Barry, the putback, no. So it's 14 now. Bucket here, another stop, another bucket, and all of a sudden it's very interesting. Southwest Virginia still has time, and like I said, now's the time for the run, and the 3's way off. So Barry gets the defensive rebound. Almost a triple-double for Latanya Barry yesterday. We had a little glitch there. So our clock's a little bit off. Not sure exactly what happened there, but bucket down low is good again for Barry. See if we can't get our clock situated here again. Timeout going to be called again. 54-41. I'm going to pause the commentary. I'm going to try to fix our clock while we're in this timeout, folks. All right, welcome back, everybody. 7:06 left to go in this one. Our clock is still off. Ugh. I try and I try. Might just have to live with it. The jumper is no good. Rebound by Steele. So 13-point game. This one not quite in the books yet. Southwest Virginia still some life in them, but got to get going. Steele given space. She'll attack over Barry. Got it to go, and the lead is 11. 7 for Steele. Bodenheimer thought about the 3. She was open for a minute. Instead goes over to Banks. It's Jones drawing contact. No, she traveled first. So the ball goes back to Southwest Virginia, and this could be a big pivotal moment here. Sandifer over to Day. Chance to get into single digits. Day for 3, no good. Barry's got the rebound. And the answer back for Bryant and Stratton. So it's Banks again for the Bobcats. Sandifer back into the game. Banks stays in, so does Brown, Berry, and Jones. Now it's a steal. Again, it's Sandifer. Bucket in the foul. How many steals does she have today? So Kimberlin called for the foul. Both teams with the team foul in a 15-point game. Sandifer completes the three-point play. 16 today for Yvette Sandifer. I'm on the verge of actually fixing this clock. Stay with me, folks. It's my one mission in life. I think that might be as close as we get to perfect. We had a little glitch with the broadcast, and when that happens, it's chaos. It's just utter chaos. Basically, our clock and our stream are two separate streams, and it's about the most convoluted way to do it, but it's the only way that works for us. I know you're fascinated by all of this. Southwest Virginia at the midway point now. Getting the stop. And a foul down low. Second team foul on Bryant and Stratton here. Inbound in the corner. The three is good. It's Maddie Day from downtown. Timeout is called. We'll step aside as well. All right, back to live action. Chris Sheeman back here with you. We're just past the midway point in this final quarter. 4:42 and counting. Banks gets it to the cutter. Sandifer's had a big night, and she stays hot. 18 for Yvette Sandifer as Bryant and Stratton leads by 15 again. And another takeaway there by the Bobcats. Boy, this defense is really something else here today for Bryant and Stratton. Brown gets it out to Jones. So we go inside 4 minutes to play here in this one. And that jumper is good again. They can't stop her. It's 15 today for Sandifer, who had just 4 yesterday. Shot off, steal the putback attempt, no good. Bobcats will use the clock here. Sandifer and Banks playing hot potato with it. Now Jones gets into the action. 8 on the shot clock. Here's Barry. Back to Sandifer. The bunny is no good. A rare miss tonight for Yvette Sandifer. Bryant and Stratton trying to win its 27th game of the year. Day hit a 3 moments ago. Here's Kimberlin now with it. Back out to Day. The runner is banked no good. Barry with the rebound. And once again, Bryant and Stratton utilizing that clock, leading by 17 points on a collision course for a rematch with Cape Fear. Both teams in this region who have either received votes in the JUCO poll or have been ranked as high as 16 in the case of Cape Fear. Buzzer beater shot no good, rebound by Day. And as we start to wind things down in the season for Southwest Virginia, I talk about some adversity just to be able to play in this game as a gift for this Southwest Virginia team. So thankfully everybody's okay after yesterday. And on the courts, a lot of things to hang your hat on. In that quarterfinal game yesterday, Paige Niehammer scored a program record 41. It's the most wins in program history at 21. This is certainly a team on the rise. These Flying Eagles should hold their heads high after this one's over. We got some subs in. Glover is in for Southwest Virginia. Number 33, Jalen Nicholson, who scored 2 points yesterday in the game for Cornell Parker's team. Artist back out there. Banks Sandifer remain. And Brown, I believe, is still out there. So top 2 seeds going to go to the championship game, Bryant and Stratton and Cape Fear. I talked about it during the Cape Fear game. It's my understanding that our region, it's one bid. That's not always the case, and evidently that's something that's predetermined, which sounds weird, right? But as far as I understand it, and if somebody wants to correct me, feel free, but as far as I understand it, the winner tomorrow is going to be the lone region member. And if you look at this Bryant and Stratton resume and you look at Cape Fear's resume, you make a case that both should probably be going. But that is, like I said, as far as I know right now, that is not the case. The national office already hates me, so I don't want to ruffle their feathers any. But, I mean, come on. You can't predetermine who the at-large bids are going to go to, can you? How does that work? Hancock gets 1 out of 2. She's got 4. So it will be a winner-take-all for this region and district. I think that might have something to do with it. The districting might have changed this year. Again, not 100% on all of it. Please, if you do know something, feel free to educate me, because I'd love to know how that's predetermined in advance. Banks out deep. The hoist and no good on the bucket. Rebound controlled by Glover. So again, tip your caps, to this Flying Eagles program. One of their best in program history under Thad Lambert. Sky's the limit. Of course, Amber Kimberlin is a sophomore. I got to think she's going somewhere, but she's the only sophomore, so a lot of these players going to be back next year. And Kimberlin going to go out, get a hug from Coach, an emotional embrace there, and that's really sweet to see for Amber Kimberlin. finishes the tournament with 27 total points, 14 yesterday, 13 today, and hugs all around for her. She's going to make some four-year very happy if she wants to go that route. Bryant and Stratton will dribble this one out as the Bobcats going to go to the championship game. This record-setting season continues for Coach of the Year Cornell Parker and his Bobcats as they win today 63-48. A dominating second half by the Bobcats, and they go to the championship. As I mentioned, it will be played here at Brunswick tomorrow at 2 p.m. The Cape Fear Sea Devils, Bryant and Stratton Bobcats, and a winner-take-all for the region tournament. We'll have that one for you again tomorrow at 2 p.m. My name's Chris Sheeman. Thanks so much for being with us all day today. Safe travels to Southwest Virginia. Well-deserved season, 21-win year for them, but it's the Bobcats who are victorious today, 63-48. Folks, have yourselves a great night. We'll talk to you again tomorrow. Take care.